Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here. So some big news coming out of the UK. It has been confirmed that Billy Joe Saunders and Frank Warren have parted ways. They have mutually agreed to terminate their contract with each other, and now Billy Joe Saunders is a free agent. The journalist Michael Coppinger has also confirmed Billy Joe Saunders is in talks with Eddie Hearn over a multi-fight agreement. We will get to that a bit later. In regards to the split, like I said, it all appears to be very amicable. Frank Warren has actually released a statement in regards to this, and he says the following: "I've really enjoyed working with Billy Joe through his whole professional career and guiding him to become British, Commonwealth, European and a two-weight world champion. I'm personally very fond of Billy Joe and I wish him every success in the remainder of his career." Billy Joe also released a nicely worded statement. "First of all, I just want to say a massive thank you to Frank for everything he's done for my career over the past decade. Frank signed me after the 2008 Olympics and was with me every step of the way as I won British, Commonwealth, European titles before becoming a two-weight world champion. It feels very bittersweet and I'll always be appreciative for everything Frank has done for me. We will stay close." So, they have statements from both Frank Warren and Billy Joe Saunders. On the surface, it appears to be very amicable, and I hope that's the case. In the past, when Frank Warren has split with certain fighters, it's been very messy legally, and sometimes he's just been a bit vindictive when guys leave him. But in this instance, it all appears to be quite nice, quite amicable, and that's good to see. As for the job Frank Warren did with Billy Joe Saunders, I actually believe he did a very good job, basically steering him from his first pro fight to being a two-weight world champion, fights with the likes of Andy Lee, Chris Eubank Jr., David Lemieux. He did some good things with Billy Joe Saunders. The problem was Billy Joe weren't always dedicated, and sometimes he let himself down outside the ring. He had that whole PED scandal. There were numerous times when he blew up in weight, being inactive, turning down certain fights. Billy Joe never made it easy for himself, and the fact his career's never really taken off, for me, really rests on him. But I believe he actually needed a fresh start, a new lease of life, etc. And this new move to Matchroom, if it comes off, could just be that. DAZN, Sky Sports have a lot of options for Billy Joe Saunders from 160 to 168. Look at the guys at 160. Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin, Demetrius Andrade. And at 168 you've got the likes of Callum Smith, John Ryder, people like that. So with Eddie Hearn and DAZN and Sky Sports, the options are there for Billy Joe Saunders. The fights are there. And it could really be the fresh start he needs to make good of his talent, because I've always been critical of Billy Joe Saunders for the longest, but I've always felt this guy was tremendously talented, and his talent, went to waste for a lot of years. So hopefully now he can get these big fights, and we'll see how good this guy really is. There's some great fights for him at 160 or 168. Me personally, I would actually prefer him to go back down to 160, because I think 168 is a bridge too far for Billy Joe Saunders. I felt Billy Joe Saunders was a good sized middleweight, but at 168 he's a bit undersized for my liking. So yeah, interesting news. A blow to Frank Warren, no doubt, but a good signing for Eddie Hearn if this comes off, and I believe it would be a good move for Billy Joe Saunders. And by the way, I just want to throw this out there: if Billy Joe does sign for Matchroom, something tells me his first fight will be John Ryder. I believe Matchroom actually made BT Sports and Frank Warren an offer for John Ryder to fight Billy Joe Saunders, so don't be surprised to see that get revisited if Billy Joe signs to Matchroom. Ultimately I think Matchroom makes the most sense. If Billy Joe has ambition and he wants these fights with the likes of Canelo, Golovkin, Smith, etc., DAZN, Sky Sports and Matchroom makes the most sense. It is what it is. For PBC, would be the second best bet in my opinion. Guys like Jamal Charlo at middleweight and David Benavidez at 168. But yeah, for me, the move he should make is to Eddie Hearn. But that's just my opinion. Share your thoughts below. Peace.